Hello everybody, so I'm super excited to bring an Audi Quattro to the channel. Many believe this is a car that redefined Audi and solidified its place in motorsport history. Morris Leslie Motor Auctions have very kindly provided this fantastic example for us to review today, and what makes it so special, it's a one-owner car from new. So did it deserve its place in Ashes to Ashes? Well, let's find out. My name's Chris and welcome to Retro Ratchet. So quickly, before we get into this video, if you're enjoying these retro and classic car reviews, please consider hitting that subscribe button. I'm planning one new review each week, so let's try and hit 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So Audi introduced the legendary UR Quattro in late 1980, showcasing its permanent four-wheel drive system. Not only did the Quattro set new standards on the open road for its exceptional traction and road holding, but also as a legendary rally hero. Engineers opted for the 2.1 litre 5-pot that was fitted to the larger 200 model, but added an intercooler and 30 brake horsepower. This particular model was referred to as the WR. It wasn't until 1982 that the UK saw right-hand drive versions, when they also changed to single headlamp lenses. Late 1983, ABS was fitted as standard along with the green Digi-Dash. Late 1984 saw a restyled front end and colour-coded boot spoiler. So, on a little bit about the car we have here today. Registered the 3rd of January 1985, so it must have been manufactured prior to the facelift and has remained in the ownership of the first keeper from new. The supplying dealer was Cameron's Motors of Perth, and total mileage covered is in the region of 125,000. The car did have a documented instrument panel replacement in 2002. What better place to start the review on this Quattro than the exterior? And from whatever angle you look at this thing, it is stunning. So let's start at the front then. Very, very squared off, flat nose there. And you've got the Audi badge right in the middle of the grille. It is reasonably plain at the front. You know, you've got those washer jets there. Single piece headlamps. I believe the facelifted ones had a sloping grille in them. You've got a little discreet spoiler built into the bumper down at the bottom there. But what a car. But for me, it's the side profile. That's what does it. See those flared arches? Squared off rather than curved at the top. That's what makes this so unique. And then down the bottom there, we've got those lovely Audi decals along. They are very, very 80s. And a couple of little pinstripes run along there, one at the bottom of the sill and one halfway along the door. Now, in case anybody didn't realise, it was a Quattro, so they put another set of decals there on the back windows. And there's that view from the rear, looking down that. Stunning. There's not many cars from the 80s that I think look meaner than this. And then it looks like we'll have a rubber rear spoiler there, and interestingly a rear wash wipe. Audi Quattro written on it, but see this reflective unit here underneath the number plate. If you actually look closely, you can see Coupe written on it there. I mean, that's just a fantastic little piece of design there. A couple of little reflectors on the rear bumper, twin exhaust system, unfortunately a tow bar, but I believe this car certainly was used. But yeah, check out that view. You've got these wee grills here on the quarters. Then looking at the wheels, you've got some original 15-inch Audi alloys. They do look quite small, but they are a little bit understated, but they do suit the rallying pedigree of these, I think. Now, what do we think of the colour? It's quite an understated colour. I think some of the flat colours might be better, the reds and whites, but it is in fantastic condition. You have to remember this is a 1985 car as well, but it does certainly look like it has been looked after. Okay, let's move on to the interior, and this is certainly not a disappointment either. Very, very retro. Cloth interior in this one, no leather. It's like a two different styles in here. It's like a tweed. Don't know, is that the correct term for it? Sorry to offend anybody, but it does actually look like tweed cloth, but I actually really like it. And you've got a leather stripe here running right along the centre of the seat back, and the bolsters are just a plain dark brown colour.
Maybe they were grey from the factory. But yeah, this is just such a nice place to sit. It's very, very well trimmed out. The headline, it looks like there's a leather trim here on the sunroof panel and behind. Curious to know if that is original. Drop something in the comments if you've owned one of them and can confirm that. It looks really, really classy actually. It is a manual sunroof fitted to this one. But you sit nice and low in this car, you know, proper old school, you know, your legs out straight there. Very, very comfy. I can just see over the steering wheel, so that's a positive. You've got these headrests, you know, with a hole in the middle. But yeah, it's just like stepping back in time. Beautiful place to be. So let's take a closer look at some of the features.
Right, so here's a closer look at that upholstery. It's really nice. I do actually think it's pretty classy. You've got height adjustment there on the seat as well. Now let's take a wee look into the back. I mean, the back seats, to be fair, have probably never been used in this car. It does look like it is actually a three-seater. In the back there's a little battery kill switch that you'll just see in the bottom corner of the video. But yeah, it does look very comfy in the back. Carpets, again, they are a nice dark brown colour, look pretty high quality as well. Yeah, so they're nice. Door trims, you've got that tweed upholstery there, and then you've got your mirror switch hiding in there. Now this is a bit I'm dying to share with you guys. Check that out. LCD display. Let's start it up. Wow. Now everybody criticised LCD displays. They didn't like digital dashboards, but how can you not like that? And in these earlier models it's green. I believe they turned to orange in the later ones. Well, that's just wow. Flip the throttle there. So yeah, you've got your rev counter there, your time, obviously speedometer there in the middle, engine temperature, this is boost, so we'll maybe see that when we're driving, and that is fuel. It says 3, so I don't know what 3 stands for, maybe 3 bars, 3 gallons, not really sure on that one. But that's just another thing to define this car, that Digi-Dash. It's lovely. Right, so I'm going to walk you around some of the other controls in the car. You've got your hazard warning switch up there. This one says computer on it with a little reset button in the middle. Now if we toggle that, you can see there's some information being displayed under the rev counter, mile per gallon, mile per hour, fuel range, elapsed time. Yeah, so that's really nice. Heated rear window switch and obviously front heated seats. You've got a wee speaker there on the dashboard, which was pretty typical of those days. And this, I imagine, is probably for the tow bar. Obviously, wiper switch there. And moving to this side, you've got your headlight control there. So that's quite an unusual setup. A little dial that rotates there, and front and rear fog lights. And that one, I imagine, is probably an instrument dimmer. Don't put in the comments if that's wrong. So you've got your heater controls down here, 3-speed fan, floor vents and dash, and hot and cold. And what else do we have? Blaupunkt Kingston radio cassette player. That is really nice. I mean, that does look correct for the era. Blaupunkt was the ones to have, top of the range back in the day. Down here we have our differential lock. So this looks pretty smart, but I'm going to leave that one alone for the time being. I know in later models it was a 2-place switch that moved over, but even just look at the pattern on that panel. Very, very retro. This one, electric window left, electric window right, I think there, because it does have a manual sunroof. Cigarette lighter, obviously 5-speed manual gearbox, and nothing else hiding down there. But yeah, very retro, but I would say very, very classy. And you've got this pretty standard looking Audi steering wheel, leather trimmed, stitched there as well. So that's very nice. So on top of, you know, the sporty themes going on here, these rally themes, it is a very high class cabin. Oh, actually, we have a couple of switches hiding under there. ABS, and that looks like a fader switch for the cassette. So yeah, I'm not sure what that ABS switch does. Put something below in the comments if you know. It'd be interesting to find out. Right, let's take a wee look under this bonnet where it all happens. So we have a 2.1 litre 5-cylinder engine. It's a single overhead cam in this one because it's a 10 valve. Turbocharged, intercooled, around about 197 brake horsepower I believe. Not the 60 time, in the region of 7 seconds, but top speed of 137. But yeah, I mean, it's a very, very busy engine bay under here. Looks like we have some Bosch mechanical fuel injection here. That's the thing with these systems is there's always pipes running all over them. There's no way of making them look neat. This inlet plenum here, we've got turbo cast into it. So that's really nice to see. Engine itself, it sits over on a slant and very, very far forward. I mean, literally, I can only get my fingers down there between the timing belt cover and that front slam panel. So yeah, there's not a lot of space, but yeah, it's just surprising how far forward it actually sits. Also got that inlet there, a lot of pipe work obviously with the intercooler. But yeah, I'm not familiar with these engines, but yeah, it's just a very, very busy place. You know, it's reasonably tidy under here. It's obviously a car that's been used. Yeah, the distributor there, yeah, you've got a little metal shroud around the cap. So that's unusual. I've never seen that before. And it looks like we have my radiator over here. We've got a little fan unit on it there, so I wonder if the engine radiator sits that way, intercooler at the front. And this looks like maybe a little oil cooler here that sits there. So yeah, very complex, I think, but we'll certainly see how it drives, and I bet it will be impressive. Right, so time to start it up and see what that 5-pot sounds like. Wow, that sounds so good. Right, so let's get it out on the road and see how it drives. Right, so the part of the video I've been dying to get to the drive. It's all about the drive. I've been dying to see how this goes. So in the limitations of what we've got today, it's going to be a little bit about how it sounds, a little bit about the performance, and just the general feel of driving an Audi Quattro. I know I'm going to be impressed before I even start. Well, it's actually very, very refined and very smooth, which I wasn't expecting. I thought there'd be a whole lot more drama and stuff, and it would be a lot more rough, but yeah, it's a pleasant surprise. The exhaust, I reckon, is probably standard. It's very, very quiet. You can actually hear more of that beautiful 5-pot soundtrack than you actually can the exhaust note. Another wee press of the throttle down here. Yeah, very quiet. So that's interesting. But yeah, it's around about 3,500 revs there. It's a glorious sound off that engine. I did have an RS3 a few years ago, and again, that was a beautifully sounding car as well. Right, so on to the second part, performance. 197 brake, 7 seconds to 60, 4-wheel drive. We're not going to be testing that 7 seconds to 60 today, we're just going to be getting a wee bit of a feel for it, see what it's like. So what's my first impressions? It's quite laggy, as you expect from any turbocharged car produced in this era. So there's 2,500 revs if you floor it, and then at 4,000 you are off. So you know you're having to wait a good 1,000 or so RPM, you know, to get that boost through. And there's third gear, 2,000 if you floor it, and then you're on boost, you know, high up the 3,000s there. So very much like the Maestro Turbo, very entertaining. Obviously a little bit outdated in how it delivers its power, but what a character it has. Really, really nice to experience this. 80s kick in the back when you get above 3,000.
yeah, so this would be all about keeping it on boost if you were looking to make fast progress. The steering in this is quite light. I mean, it seems quite precise. I obviously can't test the handling and traction and things in the circumstances I've got in the car today, but I do get a general feel for what it's like. Clutch has got a reasonable amount of weight in it. There's obviously not going to be any wheel spin or anything with it being four-wheel drive. And it is a very, very comfortable car to drive. Now, gears, there's a reasonably long throw on the gears from what I would have expected, because the shifter is quite short. It's not the most precise, but then it is getting on a bit in the mileage department, but that's no bad thing. You know, it's a well-loved car. It's obviously been used. You tend to find these ones with higher mileage that have been used are more reliable, and all the little things have been fixed along the way. But yeah, what a pleasant old thing to drive. Be interesting to see what one of the 20 valve versions are like, if there's much difference, but I doubt very much I'll get the opportunity to drive one of those. Right, what is my final conclusion on the drive? Yeah, thumbs up. I mean, it's 7 seconds to 60. It's not going to set the world on fire, but back in 1985, that was pretty respectable. And it is quite a big car, remember, and it does have that four-wheel drive system. But it's the way it delivers that. Very, very entertaining, very laggy. You know, there you go, let's floor it again. And then that's you on boost there. You can see that little boost gauge climbing up to 2. I don't know what the 2 stands for. I imagine it will not be 2 bar, that is for sure. But yeah, it's full of character. It'd be nice if it was a little bit noisier, maybe a little bit more induction noise. That's all very well refined and sound deadened, but yeah, I would love to own one of these. You know, what a car. Even just to sit and look at the dashboard. It's beautiful. Why did people not like digital dashboards back in the 80s? I don't know. Then when the S2000 had a digital dashboard, and I loved that.
And that concludes my review of the Audi Quattro today. So I hope you all enjoyed it, and I'll catch you all for the next one.